So, Jai Bharat to all of you. Uh, आज का session is about interviews, and this is my first class for interviews. Now, very important, isn't it? पूरे 1 साल, 2 साल, कई लोग 3 साल, 4 महीने, 5 महीने, 6 महीने, आप लोग सब लोग इतना मेहनत कर रहे हैं, राइट? और अभी जब इंटरव्यू का कॉल आ गया, कई लोगों का गोवा इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मैनेजमेंट का और ग्रेट लेक्स का आ गया, और जनवरी से तो लाइन लग जाएगा आपका इंटरव्यू का. एट दिस टाइम मैंने देखा है कि मेनी पीपल आर गिल्टी ऑफ नॉट वर्किंग हार्ड इनफ और टेकिंग इंटरव्यूज लाइटली. और कई बार इंटरव्यू के जो आंसर्स भी हैं, दे आर वेरी वेरी थके हारे, बनाल आंसर्स, व्हाट वी नो एज. मुझे लगता है कि आई कैन ऐड सम वैल्यू टू योर इंटरव्यूज, एंड लेट्स सी वेदर आई एम एबल टू, and if you feel that I've been able to add some value, do share your feedback in the comment section later on. But let me take you through interviews as to what I think is interview all about. So let us take up my take. शुरुआत में ऐसे पूछते हैं, इंट्रोड्यूस योर सेल्फ. So, how do people answer? 90%, 99% of the people, you will see they will answer, my name is dash, dash, dash. I've done my schooling from here. I've done my college from here. I went to this company and I've been working here. I did my project here. My hobbies are this. My interests are this. And I took leadership positions here, 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 and dash, dash, dash. Good, nothing wrong. और इसमें क्या सेलेक्ट नहीं होते क्या? सेलेक्ट भी होते हैं. राइट, मेनी पीपल, बिकॉज सब लोग ऐसे ही करते हैं. अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल डू इट. नाउ अगर मेरा परसेंटाइल 90 आया है और मुझे 99 वाले को डिफीट करना है, एंड 99 वाले का प्रोफाइल भी अच्छा है, वो ठीक ठाक बोलता है, मेरे जैसा बोलता है, सब कुछ मेरे जैसा है, और फिर आप बैठ के कंप्लेन करते हैं कि अच्छा 90 पे तो कन्वर्ट नहीं होता है. ऑब्वियसली 90 पे कन्वर्ट नहीं होगा, बिकॉज 99 हैज डन एवरीथिंग बेटर देन यू. व्हाई विल दे कन्वर्ट? राइट, 90 क्यों कन्वर्ट हो 99 से? यू हैव टू गिव द रीजन टू द इंटरव्यूअर to convert that, isn't it? So, I've been training students for this for a long period of time, and with a lot of humility, I can tell you that many of my students who have got calls at just the lowest percentile, they've converted. और इसमें मेरा कोई रोल नहीं है, मैंने तो सिर्फ उनको मोटिवेट किया, and I shared with them the rationale behind why, as a professor, I would, I've been on the interview panels, abhi nahi, because I am training students, but earlier I've been on the interview panels of business schools, and I would always look for that X factor. So what could be that X factor? ऐसे तो अभी इंट्रोडक्शन आज डिस्कस करना है, बट थोड़ा तो इंटरव्यू के बारे में आई हैव टू गिव यू अ बिट ऑफ context and bit of understanding. That X factor for me is USP. Let me give you an example. For example, so this is something, an example, which is a very common example I give to my student, is that Maruti. What does it gives you an idea about Maruti? Luxury? I don't think so. Family car, good car, pretty much. But when it comes to Mercedes and BMW and Audi, luxury car. Right. That is what we call unique selling proposition. So my understanding is that what is your unique selling proposition? Look at iPhone. iPhone never talks about its features. Largely it doesn't talk. Of late I saw a bit about camera and all that when they launched a new kind of a camera, but then otherwise they talk something else. What do you remember about iPhone? You think about it. Take up any product, you will find that every product has a USP. Now what is an interview? Interview, according to me, is an advertisement of yourself. कितना टाइम मिलता है? 10 minutes. Right, most of the places. Now it is my responsibility कि 10 मिनट में हम इंटरव्यूअर को याद रह जाए. उसकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं है. तो अगर आप अपने इंट्रोडक्शन में या इंटरव्यू में वही सब बोरिंग बातें करेंगे, एंड देर इज नथिंग टू बी रिमेंबर्ड, इट गिव्स अ सिग्नल कि चलो ठीक है, इसको भी नॉर्मल मार्क्स दे दो. वन, एंड सेकंड, इट गिव्स देम अ सिग्नल दैट यू आर नॉट वेरी कॉम्पिटिटिव. यू आर नॉट अ फायर ब्रांड लीडर हु वांट्स टू मेक अ मार्क. तो इंटरव्यू कैसा होना चाहिए कि अगर उसने 100 इंटरव्यू लिया ना, तो वो दो तीन चार लोग याद रहने चाहिए. दैट इज वॉट इंटरव्यू इज ऑल अबाउट. यू फॉरगेट योर परसेंटाइल वेदर इट इज 99 और 90, बट अगर आपका क्वेश्चन आता है कई लोगों का आता है मेरे कमेंट्स में, मैंने देखा, सर इतना परसेंटाइल आया, क्या कन्वर्ट होगा? आंसर इज एब्सोल्युटली यस, बट गो फॉर एन इंटरव्यू जो उनको याद रहे. नाउ व्हाट कुड बी द रीजन व्हाई दे वुड रिमेंबर यू? आई थिंक वन रीजन कुड बी a lot of thought to every question, lot of thought. अभी हम देख रहे हैं कोई भी क्वेश्चन होता है चैट जीपीटी में डाल देते हैं, नथिंग रॉन्ग, बट इतना अच्छा इंग्लिश आ जाता है उसमें चैट जीपीटी में. राइट, सो व्हेन आई रीड आई सेड ओ माय गॉड, इट इज सो वेल रिटन. आई स्टार्ट बिकमिंग jealous of your answers. But the problem is, if there is a disconnect between what you have written and what you are speaking. And if the interviewer finds out, my God, you've written so well and you are speaking so poorly, they'll understand that you've taken help. And that's a big no-no. So it's okay. Last date है, आपने चैट जीपीटी यूज कर लिया, बट साथ में चैट जीपीटी को ये भी बोलिए that look, मेरा लैंग्वेज ऐसा है ना, now you write like me. और उसको एक सैंपल दे दिए, this is how I like, सॉरी, दिस इज हाउ आई राइट, सो यू राइट इन माई लैंग्वेज, वो भी कर देगा. तो जब इतना दिमाग लगा ही रहे हैं, कॉपी कर रहे हैं, तो अच्छे से कॉपी कीजिए. दिस इज वन पार्ट, राइट? सो व्हेन यू राइट योर एसओपीज एंड ऑल दैट, when you have to use chat gpt, then maybe I would suggest that. But coming back to the interview part, so are you giving a chance to the interviewer to remember you? 10 मिनट में आपको याद रखना है. सो एडवर्टीजमेंट जैसा होता है, 1.5 मिनट का, 30 सेकेंड्स का, 40 सेकेंड्स का, वेयर द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट फीचर अबाउट यू दे शुड रिमेंबर. That is for me is an introduction. So what could be an introduction? Let me share with you. Let's take up that you've been working, right? दो ही तरह के लोग होंगे, either you are working or you are not working, right? Now, और क्या होगा? You have some hobby, right? Either you have a hobby which is worth mentioning, or you do not have a hobby, or you have a co-curricular extracurricular activities worth mentioning, not mentioning, or extremely good academics, or you have a okay academics. Now, why on earth I would mention I have got 80% in my 10th from this school and 85%? Because it's not worth remembering. Everybody, almost everybody has it, isn't it? I don't think that is something which we should really mention in interviews. So what we should do in interviews as far as introduction is concerned, there are 2, 3 strategies which people apply. Please आप याद रखिएगा. I'm not saying that if you introduce yourself by saying, normal way of introduction, my name is Manish and I come from Patna, the capital city of Bihar. I've done my schooling from this. My college from Main College, graduation from Main College, physics, chemistry, maths, or engineering. And, I work very hard. I'm hardworking and I'm a team player. I played cricket on this level and I've been a quiz master. I've been quizzing for a long period of time. ऐसा भी इंट्रोडक्शन चलेगा. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि आई एम डिसमिसिंग इट, बट आई एम सेइंग इट डजंट गिव फेच मी एनी ब्राउनी पॉइंट्स. ओके, चलो ठीक है, इसके बारे में थोड़ा पता चल गया. सो हाउ वुड आई इंट्रोड्यूस माई सेल्फ देन? 2 ways. वन, डीप इंट्रोस्पेक्शन ऑफ सेल्फ. ऐसी कौन सी बात अपने बारे में हम रखें जिससे इंटरव्यूअर विल बिकम इंटरेस्टेड इन मी and they would ask further questions. So it's like I am giving clues. Please ask me questions from here. Right. What could be there? By taking deep down to the some issue, developing it properly rather than quickly rattling all the points. So what I'm trying to say, that depth ke liye jaiye and not width. Don't say too many things about yourself. Just pick up 1 or 2 points and develop it properly and then reason it out and tell them this is what you are. Right. It could be something as simple as music. Let's take up you play guitar, right? You have an average academics and stuff like that, and you want to focus on guitar. Now, I don't play guitar, but I'm just sharing with you. Now, suppose I introduce myself that, sir, apart from my, typical school and college from, school from CBSE and college from Patna University or from Delhi University or from Mumbai University in economics, or I've done my engineering from one of the colleges, chemical, computer science. Apart from this, I think the reason you would remember me is someone who has worked very hard on training myself as far as music is concerned, and that to Indian classical music. So I play guitar, but Indian classical. So from the age of 5 to the age of 20, for the last 15 years, I've been regularly doing riyaz as far as guitar is concerned. Dash, 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 dash. And I feel this has given me, or this has taught me discipline, hard work, perseverance. And these are all the qualities which I found are very, very fruitful as far as managers are concerned. And I feel that I'm ready to be a manager and to be in your business school because of my training as far as music is concerned. Along with this, obviously, I've done internship here. So I've done my internship in this particular company where I was a part of the team. So you're showing teamwork. I did this, I did that. So your soft skills and hard skills. Soft skills, all of you know, I don't need to really tell you. Communication skill, teamwork, right? Your ability to connect with people, networking. These are all soft skills, right? What about hard skills? So hard skills would be I did this course on data analytics on Coursera or somewhere else, edX, Udemy, wherever you wish to, and I have this certification. I did a digital marketing course on this. I have a certification, right? I have done advanced Excel sheet here. I have a certification. Now, these are the clues which you are giving them. And then you are telling them, look, I'm good. This is as per me introduction, right? Now, a lot of times the question comes, इंट्रोडक्शन कितना लंबा रहना चाहिए? आई थिंक आपका इंट्रोडक्शन ना 10 इंट्रोडक्शन बना के रखिए. हम तो ऐसे ही करते थे, 10 इंट्रोडक्शन. एक इंट्रोडक्शन जहां पर हम बोलना शुरू करेंगे एंड आई एम मेंटली रेडी, 10 सेकंड में काट देगा इंटरव्यूअर. वो बोलेगा अरे क्या है ऐसा ही. So I used to speak my most important part right at the beginning. I would not give him a chance, right? कि मेरा जो सबसे important part है वो लास्ट में आए so that वो सुने ही ना. और ऐसा होता है, right? उनके लिए कई बार मूड होता है एंड दे हैव नॉट प्लान समथिंग लाइक दिस. उनको लगा कुछ ऐसे बनाल काइंड ऑफ अ कॉमन काइंड ऑफ आ रहा है तो काट दो. सो आई विल स्पीक समथिंग which they would be interested in right at the beginning, the way it happens in advertisement, or what you say hook statement, right? Hook statements are statements which will catch the attention of people. So I would always keep, for example, since I used to do a lot of quizzing, so I would, and I used to not only do quizzing, but participate as well as take up quizzes, right? So I would say, sir, I'm a quiz master. Now that would, unka antenna khada ho jayega, अरे quiz master. Second, I would say, sir, I am quite okay with numbers. I'm very comfortable with numbers. And I must share, ऐसे बोल रहे हैं, I'm good with squares and cubes and pluses and minuses. A lot of you are. But as a student, I took it to the next level. So maybe, 2000 का भी मुझे 3000 4000 also. I used to be very comfortable at that time. There have been students who have been 5 times better than what I was. But this is something I take a bit of pride, that comfort with numbers, number crunching skills. So I would start with that. And then the moment these two will come up, then they would start. And एक और bait डालते थे हम, because I wanted to study finance. So I would say, sir, although I'm a student of mathematics, but since I'm interested in finance, I've read these 10 books on finance. And trust me, I had read those books, and they would ultimately, they will say, Arey, this is unique because koi to padh ke nahi aata itna, right? And they would not trust also. So they will start questions. So the entire conversation would be around quizzing. So a lot of GK, geopolitics will come, and I used to read newspapers, magazines, a lot of stuff. So that would really work in my favor. And then on finance, the number of books I had read, and I must confess, सारा कुछ समझ में नहीं आता था. But the fact that I had read it, the fact that I would answer in a very bookish manner, still they would appreciate it. I think that was my strength, if you ask me. And you need to really think very, very deeply on yourself, not shallow manner. और ये छोटी मोटी चीज नहीं है, ये मजाक भी नहीं है. देखिए, इतना मेहनत करके आप इतना परसेंटाइल लाए हैं, इतना मेहनत करके आपका कॉल आता है. एंड आई हैव रिस्पेक्ट फॉर ऑल कॉलेजेस. इट्स, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग ओनली अबाउट IIMs. An interview is an interview, any interview. गिव देम रिस्पेक्ट। इंटरव्यू कर आप रिस्पेक्ट कैसे करते हैं? इंटरव्यूअर को आप रिस्पेक्ट करते हैं बाय बीइंग वेरी वेरी प्रिपेयर्ड, रेडी। तो 10 सेकंड का इंट्रोडक्शन हम बनाते थे, 30 सेकेंड्स का इंट्रोडक्शन बनाते थे, और अगर उसने मुझे 3-4 मिनट दे दिया बोलने का तो उसका भी इंट्रोडक्शन रेडी रखते थे, राइट? बट आई वुड कीप पॉइंटर्स, आई वुड नॉट राइट इट डाउन टू मच। इनिशियली द वे यू डू, आई वुड राइट लॉट ऑफ स्टफ, बट माई फोकस नॉट ऑन राइटिंग अ ग्रेट इंग्लिश, बिकॉज लिखने वाला इंग्लिश अलग होता है और बोलने वाला इंग्लिश अलग होता है। तो आप लिख करके ट्रैप्ड हो जाइए, right? If you write, because a lot of you spend so much of time writing good English, you won't be able to speak it. Very difficult, right? And especially if they stop you in between. तो जिसको बोलते हैं ना, उसका लय ताल सब बिगड़ जाएगा आपका. So it is better that you take a pointers and do a lot of practice on that. If somebody cuts me in 10-15 seconds, how do I respond? Somebody cuts me in 30 seconds, cuts me in 1 minute, cuts me in 2 minutes. You must be thinking, अरे ये तो क्या बोल रहे हैं सर, मैड ही बना देंगे, पागल बना देंगे. बट देन आई यूज टू बी वेरी ऑब्सेस्ड अबाउट इंटरव्यूज टू दैट एक्सटेंट दैट आई वुड नॉट लाइक, यू नो, देम टू रिजेक्ट मी ऑन दीज काउंट्स इंट्रोडक्शन. अभी हम क्या करेंगे? मेरी एक स्टूडेंट है, उन्होंने मुझे कुछ क्वेश्चंस भेजा है. सो दिस इज व्हाट आई एम डूइंग इन क्लासरूम ऑल्सो. सो आई वुड शेयर दिस फाइल विथ यू एंड आई वुड एक्नॉलेज हर. हर नेम इज रूही. और वो रूही कहाँ से लेकर आई है मुझे पता नहीं. तो अगर इफ ये किसी फैकल्टी का है तो आई एम एक्नॉलेजिंग एंड आई एम से टेलिंग यू थैंक यू, राइट? आई थिंक आई नीड टू सर्च फॉर इट. वेयर इज द फाइल? आई थिंक आई एम गेटिंग इट. सॉरी, जस्ट गिव मी a minute's time. Yeah, this is what it is. So I think this is clear to you. ओके, सो दीज आर कपल ऑफ क्वेश्चन. सो आज जो है ना, ये 10 क्वेश्चन हम डिस्कस करेंगे आपके साथ, और उसके बाद हर बार मतलब 10-10 क्वेश्चंस इंटरव्यू को डिस्कस करेंगे. 5-6 क्लास हम लेंगे. आई थिंक यू विल बी प्रिपेयर्ड इन अ वेरी गुड मैनर. आई डोंट थिंक आफ्टर दैट यू कैन पुट इट ऑन कमेंट्स. आई विल ट्राई. सम ऑफ यू हैव बीन कॉलिंग मी ऑन माय नंबर and I'm guilty of not being able to really respond. So I'm really, really sorry, but I will respond. I do not leave it. Right. So it is my promise. But let's take up first question. So first question, I have already done it, isn't it? So tell me about yourself is not only about mundane run of the mill answer. Think about it. And then you can send me also. You can send me on my WhatsApp voice note, or I'm going to give you a feedback. Right? वो हम देंगे आपको feedback. Walk me through your resume. So obviously walk me through your resume is your introduction, but in a very different way, because resume is formal. So that means they are asking you what kind of summer training you did, what kind of internships you did, college में क्या किया, school में क्या किया, right? Or extracurricular, what have you done? Everything which is there as a part of your resume, everything which is there on LinkedIn is what you have to do it. What are your greatest strengths? ग्रेट बिगेस्ट वीकनेसेस, इस पर जाएंगे थोड़ी देर में. आई एम गोइंग टू फर्स्ट स्टॉप द शेयर. आफ्टर दैट आई विल गो टू ग्रेटेस्ट स्ट्रेंथ एंड वीकनेसेस. हाउ वुड योर फ्रेंड्स डिस्क्राइब यू? दैट्स समथिंग विच इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, राइट? इस क्वेश्चन पे पहले आते, स्ट्रेंथ वीकनेसेस पे बाद में आएंगे. तो अब यहां पर ना, यू डू नॉट हैव टू ग्लोरीफाई योर सेल्फ. लेट्स टेक अप as far as I am concerned, let me share about me. So फ्रेंड्स के सामने ना, लेट्स टेक अप मेरा स्कूल हो गया, कॉलेज हो गया. I have not been a very dominating person. That's the kind of a person you are. You can say that मेरे फ्रेंड्स आकर के मुझे अगर थोड़ा भला भला बुरा भी बोल दें, तो normally I am not someone who would shoot back. I generally do not fight. You can almost say docile तो नहीं बोल सकते, लेकिन generally I would ignore. And with my friends, I'm not a very funny guy, right? I'm not someone who's a great entertainer. In fact, I enjoy some of my friends a lot. They are very, very big entertainers. Normally, I'm laid back and I enjoy the presence of my friends. So I would say my friends would describe me as someone who's dependable, because I do not have the habit of taking one. होते ना इधर का बात उधर कर देना, दैट आई डोंट डू. Right. I generally forget also. But someone who would describe me as a team player because I don't fight. The only place where I fight a bit is for leadership. So my friends would describe me as someone who wants to be in a leadership position. Right. Oh, cricket maybe I would love to be a captain. Even in college, I won the election and then I became a student body head. So they want that they would know that I'm someone who fights for being in a leadership. My friends would also describe me as someone who's very hardworking. I used to be, right? This is not boasting, but like a lot of you work very hard. So I also put in a lot of effort on anything. What else? Resilience. अगर if there is a failure, I would bounce back. I would not just sulk कि अच्छा fail कर गए. Right. So generally cheerful. Now you have to think, right, from friends, and you ask your friends, how would you describe me? And I think whatever the feedback which you get, I think you can just share. But अगर आप you are one of those people who are like dinosaur of all the eyes, you are in leadership, सब लोग आपको बोलते रहते हैं, कुछ ऐसा आप स्पेशल है, then in a humble manner you say that. ऐसा भी आप हो सकते हैं, nobody gives you a damn. Right. It's okay. I think you can be very honest and tell them that, look, my friends, okay, I'm not a very special guy. I'm a normal kind of a person. So ऐसा नहीं है. I have some close set of friends who would describe me as someone who is very highly, he motivates me. He is someone who is ambitious. Right. There are a lot of adjectives to describe you. And if you are someone funny, जबरदस्ती funny मत बोलिएगा. If you are genuinely funny, वो पता चलेगा इंटरव्यू बोर्ड को. You can say that my friends describe me as someone who's very funny, someone who's very exciting. कुछ रॉक स्टार हैं आप, जो भी है, think पहले से. That's how you would answer your friends describing you. What motivates you? Now, see, at your age हम ये नहीं बोलते हैं कि ठीक है सब लोग स्पिरिचुअल हो जाएं and भगवान बुद्धा और भगवान के लिए ही सब लोग ये करने लग जाए. Motivation, money is a good motivator, but money cannot be the reason why someone would be so motivated that they would go for a business management. Although it's a fact that salaries do attract us, it attracted me, it attracted most of my batchmates. But along with that, there are other aspects also that motivates. What could be that those other aspects that could motivate you? One is that, for example, अगर आप मुझसे पूछें what motivates me, I love thousands and thousands of people, crores of people listening to me. I'm telling you very honestly. I had the privilege and I still have the privilege to be on television channels. I'm on television channels for last 5, 6, 7 years. I still get very excited that crores of people are going to listen to me. Right. That motivates me. And that is what has motivated me to get into some social work where hundreds of people listen to me. I enjoy. And that's the reason I am your teacher also. I enjoy the fact that I'm able to speak to a group of people. That is what motivates me. Now, does that ensure that I make a living? Yes, I'm able to make a decent living. Uh, you know, Been to a business school, so I know the tricks of the trade and how to ensure that you earn your money, your living for your family and for your parents, children, whatever you say, and for yourself. So that part is there. But and that pressure is also there to earn money. But that's not something which really makes me awake tonight. For example, अभी 2, 3, 2:30 बज रहे हैं, and that's not the reason I am awake. There are other aspects of life that motivates me. Think very, very carefully. Some of you would be highly motivated for social service. You can still be a manager, but deep inside you would like to do social service, right? Some of you be maybe motivated by traveling and truly passion for travel. ऐसा नहीं है सिर्फ कि just like that you are saying traveling. Some of you may be motivated for charity. So whatever really motivates you, 3, 4, 5 points, you can talk about it. और एक और चीज है आपको बताएं, एज वाइज भी मोटिवेशन चेंज करता है, राइट? जिस एज में अभी हम है ना, 10 साल के बाद हो सकता है कि आई विल बी मोर मोटिवेटेड बाय स्पिरिचुअलिटी. आई विल स्टार्ट रीडिंग लॉट ऑफ वेद पुराण. संस्कृत में इंटरेस्ट आ जाएगा, शुरू से ही मेरा इंटरेस्ट था. मतलब एज होता है. तो एट यंग एज इफ देर इज यू आर मोटिवेटेड बाय स्टफ विच इज लग्जरी, विच इज हाई लाइफ, नथिंग रॉन्ग, right? But as a as a responsible citizen of this country, your motivation has to be contribution to the social and economical growth of this country. That motivation is very important, right? Your motivation has to be uplift people who are weaker than you are. This is like non-negotiable. इसके अलावा money should be your motivation, business should be your motivation. Why not? High life can be your motivation, isn't it? Traveling the world could be your motivation, and you can express yourself very freely as to what your motivation is. Nothing wrong. Money is not a taboo as far as business schools are concerned. Okay, tell us about a time you demonstrated leadership. Now, yeah, leadership ideally in workspace, but if you are a final year student in college, positions of responsibility and school. But कई लोगों का ना बहुत average life जाता है and they have not really thought about leadership at all. ऐसा नहीं है कि you cannot talk. You can still talk about leadership. It could be thought leadership. आप याद रखिएगा. For example, you feel very strongly about women issues, gender issues. You feel very strongly about LGBT communities. You feel very strongly about child labor. You feel very strongly about environment, right? And you've been thinking about it. You've gained knowledge about it. That is also a leadership. I call it thought leadership. तो अगर उधर से आपका लीडरशिप नहीं आया, यू कैन ऑलवेज टॉक. अगर को करिकुलर एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज में आप बहुत अच्छे हैं, म्यूजिक में बहुत अच्छे हैं, गाना बहुत अच्छा गाते हैं, स्पोर्ट्स में अच्छे हैं, वो भी तो लीडरशिप है. तो लीडरशिप को ना आप ऐसा एक, यू डू नॉट पुट इट इन अ ब्रैकेट कि लीडरशिप का मतलब हुआ कि 10 लोगों के हम बॉस हैं तो ही लीडरशिप है. नहीं. इज सचिन तेंदुलकर नॉट अ लीडर? ही वॉज नॉट अ कैप्टन फॉर अ लॉन्ग और अ वेरी सक्सेसफुल कैप्टन, इजंट इट? क्या तबला वाले जाकिर हुसैन विच who recently passed away, he was not a leader? Absolutely he was. Is A.R. Rahman not a leader? Absolutely A.R. Rahman is a leader, isn't it? So you take up any person, Amitabh Bachchan, these are all people for me leaders. You don't have to be a politician to be a leader. You don't have to be a corporate person, isn't it? Social sphere में तो कितने सारे हैं जो we can call them as leader. But Yuval Noah Harari, I call him a leader. You go and, if in case you have not read Homo Deus or many of the books he has written, go and check him out. For me, he's a thought leader, philosopher, right? And he could also be a leader. So therefore, you can actually spin it in your own way about demonstrated leadership. Okay, describe an accomplishment you are most proud of. Now, if you can give accomplishment, work accomplishment, or internship accomplishment, good. In case of your college, if you've done something, accomplished something, good. School, good. अगर ये सब कुछ भी नहीं हुआ ना, बट एक छोटी सी चीज भी आपके लिए अकम्पलिशमेंट हो सकती है, टू स्पीक. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जैसे मान लीजिए, मेडिटेशन फॉर मी इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट. आई डोंट नो व्हाई इट इज. आई एम नॉट एबल टू मेडिटेट. तो हम ऐसे ही सोच रहे हैं दैट सपोज आई थिंक कि आई एम गोइंग टू डू मेडिटेशन एवरी डे हाफ एन आवर, एंड 1 साल तक लगातार करेंगे मेडिटेशन. And if I'm able to achieve this, for me, it's accomplishment. I decided I'm going to run every day, right? And I'm able to achieve this. That's something which is a accomplishment. Greatest failure, what did you learn from it? And how do you handle stress or pressure? फेलियर पे आ जाते हैं. अब जैसे मेरे केस में तो फेलियर वाज आईआईटी जेई. तो आप भी अगर आईआईटी जेई के सताए हुए हैं, या मेडिकल के सताए हुए हैं, क्लैट के सताए हुए हैं, एनडीए, सो इंडिया में तो +2 के बाद कुछ ना कुछ एग्जाम देते हैं, एंड सम ऑफ यू आर ह्यूज सक्सेसेस एंड सम ऑफ यू मे नॉट बी. सो दैट कुड बी अ फेलियर. Sometimes not being able to maintain friendships could be a failure in your case, isn't it? Where you felt that no, you committed some mistake because of their friendship broke. You can think in those terms also a failure. You tried stock market. Please don't try it without having a lot of knowledge. You couldn't really manage it. That could be a failure. So failures are, we are full of failures, isn't it? We are human beings. And by the time we reach 2021, we learn from those failures. So that's what the question is, that where, what has been your greatest failure. But इसमें भी आपको बहुत सोचना पड़ेगा. You cannot sound frivolous in terms of failures. And show me a man or a woman without failure, isn't it? Something or the other you fail. Sometimes it could be as simple as not being able to understand that my mother needed me and my help. at that time, or my father needed my help and I did not help them at the right time. And that could be a failure. And that's a huge, huge learning experience, isn't it? So relationship failures is not related only to your friends or boyfriends or girlfriends. It could be also your parents, your brothers and sisters whom you could not help at that time, right? Or maybe meaningfully you could not help, not make them succeed. It may not be personal, right? You're very passionate about something. You tried something and you didn't really, it didn't work out. Maybe environment protection, maybe something else. It didn't work out. That could also be a failure. तो हमेशा पर्सनल फेलियर ही फेलियर बोलेंगे कि एग्जाम में फेल कर गए, वही नहीं है. और मुझे तो लगता है अगर आप इसको ब्रॉडन कर दें तो आई विल बी वेरी वेरी हैप्पी, isn't it? How do you handle stress or pressure? Uh, this question again, a lot of thought needs to be there. So iske baad I will come to greatest strengths and weakness. So I'm stopping the share and I will finish it off today's session. So how do you handle stress? I think each one of us have a very different way of handling stress. So और वो भी चेंज होता जाता है year to year and as you grow in life. So when I was younger, for me, playing was the best way to handle stress. So I play cricket, table tennis. A lot I used to play table tennis and cricket, badminton. And for you also, it could be football, it could be something else, it could be music, right? So that's one of the ways through which I used to handle stress. And being with friends, talking to them would make me forget whatever stress is. Abhi is age mein, one of the ways in which I handle stress is by actually being away from phone, because phone ही stress देता है. So सबका अपना अलग अलग coping mechanism होता है. I also do a bit of exercise that I'm told that reduces stress, right? And also, I think the biggest learning which I got, and where personally I handle stress by saying no to people. Two things. One, by saying no to people, and second, by see, I'm a huge procrastinator. Huge procrastinator. जैसे मेरा ऐसा हालत है, आप अगर आप मुझे फोन कर रहे हैं ना, हम देख रहे हैं, मुझे पता है कि आपको फोन करना है, मुझे मुझे पता है कि ये फोन को मुझे उठाना है, एंड आई वुड कीप लुकिंग एट इट तब तक जब तक ये रिंग खत्म नहीं हो जाएगा, राइट? जब रिंग खत्म हो जाएगा उसके बाद मुझे टेंशन हो जाता है, अरे आई मिस द कॉल. इतना बुरा हैबिट है मेरा प्रोक्रास्टिनेशन का, राइट? अभी रिसेंटली, अब माई बर्थडे वॉज देयर, आई डिसाइडेड जो फोन आएगा उसी समय उठाएंगे, जो भी आएगा उसका अभी. तो आप देखिए, मेरा तो आपके टीचर का ये हालत है. सो सबका ना कुछ ये प्रॉब्लम होता है. एंड स्ट्रेस, मेरा स्ट्रेस इसी के चलते होता है, नॉट बीइंग एबल टू रिप्लाई ऑन टाइम. Right, some of you have called me. I've not been able to reply. लेकिन मुझे मालूम है you have called. I'm not replying. Bad habit, stress. So you have to change your habit. There's no other way. Maybe you can comment how do you handle stress. So I'm not a really great expert on this, but then अपना coping mechanism है, and you can handle stress in your own way. At IMS Patna tomorrow, I have called an expert because I'm not an expert on this. I will also listen what he is saying. So there is a professor who's going to come and वो इसी बात को बोलेंगे कि हाउ डू यू हैंडल स्ट्रेस ड्यूरिंग इंटरव्यूज. सो वो जो बोलेंगे वो अगले क्लास में हम आपको बताएंगे, राइट? बट दिस इज माय वे ऑफ हैंडलिंग स्ट्रेस. नाउ लेट्स कम टू ग्रेटेस्ट स्ट्रेंथ्स एंड वीकनेसेस. यहां पर बहुत लोगों का अलग अलग ओपिनियन है. मेरा ओपिनियन थोड़ा अलग है अगर ये ऐसा है तो, बट आई एम श्योर देयर विल बी अदर पीपल हु वुड हैव सिमिलर ओपिनियंस लाइक मी. आई फील हम ना एक स्ट्रेंथ बताते थे और 5 वीकनेस बताते थे अपना. और मेरा स्ट्रेंथ स्ट्रेंथ की तरह होता है और मेरा वीकनेस वीकनेस की तरह होता है. वीकनेस कैमोफ्लाज्ड एज स्ट्रेंथ नहीं होता है. बट मेरा वीकनेस वाज आल्सो नॉट फ्रिवलस वीकनेस. ऐसा नहीं, अच्छा आई स्लीप अ लॉट, ये कौन सा वीकनेस है? गो टू हेल. योर प्लेस इज नॉट देयर इन बिजनेस स्कूल एंड यू कैन नॉट कम इन फ्रंट ऑफ एन इंटरव्यू बोर्ड. आई एम वेरी लेजी. नहीं होगा. ये लेजी लोग वहां नहीं चाहिए होते हैं, राइट? और मतलब इट हैज नो मीनिंग फॉर मी एंड फॉर प्रोफेसर्स ऑल्सो. सो ये आई स्लीप अ लॉट, आई एम लेजी, आई ईट अ लॉट, these are personality defects. It is no place. So when we are talking about strengths and weakness, we are talking about something. So let's take a weakness as areas of improvement and strength as something that works for me in my managerial roles. or later on it'll help me perform to the best of abilities as far as being a manager is concerned. I think that is how I look at strength. So you need to take a deep dive into your strengths and weaknesses. For example, let's take up क्या बोलते थे हम weakness. So as a student, I used to say that, sir, I have not read enough as far as uh, economics is concerned. There is so much to learn. And I feel as a manager, somebody who doesn't understand Indian economy and world economy generally, I think that person won't be able to perform very well. So I had read, I knew budget, I had read a lot of stuff, being a science student also, but I was still not very confident of at that time of saying that I'm great with that. So I would say that, look, this is where I would like to improve. I would also speak to them about lack of internships. I've never done any internship in company. So my knowledge about corporate world was weak. I would suggest you, अगर ऐसा है, take up some internships on urgent basis in next 2 months. ये ना ही बोले weakness तो अच्छा है, लेकिन अगर है तो ठीक है, so be it. I would really love to have some exposure of corporate world in case. अगर जिसने काम किया है उसके लिए तो ये कुछ भी नहीं है, isn't it? What else? Uh, let's take up. I'm an art student. Technology appreciation hai, but I've not really worked on technology. All jobs are now tech jobs, isn't it? Mujhe, I can say that, look, sir, I don't know much about digital marketing, although I should have known. I don't know much about data analytics. I also need to understand a lot of aspects of mathematics, but I promise in next 6 months' time, I would know linear programming, I would know transportation model, I would know every maths which is important to know as far as any successful manager is concerned. Right? So actually doing a lot of self introspection and knowing कि मैनेजर बनने के लिए क्या क्या चीजें जरूरी होती हैं, what are the qualities of being a good manager. और आपको लगे कि ये नहीं है ना, तो बोल देते हैं, ठीक है, नेक्स्ट 6 मंथ्स आई विल बी देयर. कई लोग तो इंग्लिश ठीक से नहीं बोल सकते हैं, तो आप बोल सकते हैं कि सर आई एम नॉट वेरी गुड विथ इंग्लिश कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स. आप हिंदी में बात कीजिए तो आई एम क्वाइट ओके, नॉर्मल, बहुत अच्छे से बात करेंगे, बट इंग्लिश मेरी फ्लुएंसी नहीं है, वर्ड्स मुश्किल हो जाता है. बट इंडिया इज चेंजिंग, कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड इज ऑल्सो चेंजिंग. आपको पिनलाइज नहीं करेंगे इफ यू से कि ओके दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम एंड आई एम गोइंग टू वर्क इन नेक्स्ट 6 मंथ्स, कम बैक टू यू स्ट्रॉन्गर. राइट. बट ये सब चीजें आप बहुत झूठ बोलने से कुछ खास फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. मतलब आई डोंट थिंक पीपल अंडरस्टैंड कि यू आर नॉट गॉड. फाइनली आप मेरे कॉलेज में आए, इवन आप अहमदाबाद में गए, तो मेरा एक नॉर्मल ये है कि आप अहमदाबाद भी तो 26 27 पता नहीं 46 रैंक इन द वर्ल्ड है. तो वॉट आर यू फाइटिंग फॉर फाइनली, इजंट इट? सो ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई भी कॉलेज ऐसा है जिसके लिए आपको बहुत ज्यादा आपको झूठ बोलने की जरूरत है. आई थिंक यू कैन शेयर विद देम योर थॉट्स, and they are more interested in your analysis rather than actual weaknesses and strengths. ये भी आप याद रखिएगा. स्ट्रेंथ तो आपके बहुत सारे रहेंगे, so I don't want to really dwell on that, but I think these are the questions that are asked, and I have tried to the best of my ability to really make you understand that how you can talk as far as introduction is concerned. अगर कोई question रहा आपका अपने बारे में, तो you can put it on comments. I promise I was very, very busy for last 7 days. I've not been able to answer many of your questions and I don't feel good about it. So ये जितने भी पिछले वाले मेरे वीडियोस में आपके सब क्वेश्चंस हैं, नो प्रोक्रास्टिनेशन. अभी से लेकर के नेक्स्ट 2 3 आवर्स, राइट, आई एम गोइंग टू आंसर दोज क्वेश्चंस. और इधर इस वीडियो पे भी जो क्वेश्चंस आएगा, आई एम गोइंग टू आंसर दोज क्वेश्चंस. टुमारो यू विल सी अनदर वीडियो. आई नो दैट है, और आप पढ़ाई ज्यादा कर रहे हैं, ये वीडियो बाद में देखेंगे कॉल्स आने के बाद, बट फिर भी नेक्स्ट वीडियो वुड कम एंड देयर आई एम गोइंग टू डिस्कस अनदर सेट ऑफ 10 क्वेश्चंस. 50 60 क्वेश्चंस हम डिस्कस करेंगे. उसके बाद मुझे लगता नहीं कि आपको किसी इंटरव्यू में दिक्कत होगी. राइट. थैंक्स अ लॉट. माय गुड विशेस एंड ब्लेसिंग्स टू ऑल ऑफ यू. टेक केयर.